Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
Hey, look at these.
I don't want to say that we nailed it on these.
Nailed it on
But
these.
we nailed it. So for those of you who are listening, which is, we found out that we make this video and most people don't watch it.
Yeah. We found out we went to the trouble to do a video version of the podcast and everybody's like, no, the ears are good.
Yeah, I listen to it in the car.
I listen to it when I'm doing things around the house.
Right.
I don't have time. I have Netflix series to binge. Right. I don't have time to sit down and watch you guys.
Watch you.
Right.
There no one's gonna start. But so you can't tell what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. So those of you who can tell what we're talking about, you see them. And for those of you who can't, we now have the official Biofriendly Podcast
coffee tumbler.
In-house, baby.
In 3D, baby.
We've even given a couple away, I think.
Yes. It is. One of them is en route.
Yeah.
And we've given a couple away to ourselves.
Oh, is that who got it? Okay. Yeah.
Those are the first recipients.
Yeah.
Are us.
Well, that was good.
We deserve them. Okay.
Yeah.
We're the hosts of the show. We get to have cool coffee tumblers.
Well, because otherwise we can't drink from them.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Or tell you how wonderful and hot the coffee stays.
It's delicious. And I love to describe them to your ears. So when you see them, you'll be like, it's exactly as I imagined. They have a green band on the top, band on the bottom, little green top. And then it says the Biofriendly Podcast, and it's kind of, like a stainless steel, So this will be like, if you get one of these, you'll be like the talk of the town.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to our executive coffee bean that we go to, they were very impressed.
They stopped us. They said, what is this Biofriendly Podcast? And we said, oh, it's no big deal. We're just changing the world.
One podcast at a time.
Exactly. Eventually, as the line goes. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah. Doing great.
You look great.
You look great. We're both wearing black dress shirts, so
look at us.
We really coordinated today.
Wow.
And then if you are listening and you do want one of these, you have to join the Facebook group.
Yes.
Because that's where you're gonna get one as a prize.
Only people who are part of our Facebook group get to have these.
Yep. It's an exclusive deal.
And Bill.
Uh-huh. and Bill Carroll.
And Bill gets to have it because, he took it.
He took one. He wanted one, so he took one.
He walked in, he said, oh, picked it up.
And I said.
And he left.
Yeah. And I said, enjoy. That lowers my count by one, and that's fine. And then,
you know what?
And then we took him too.
He's a big promoter.
Yes.
He's gonna drink. He's gonna use it everywhere.
He's gonna
tell people about it.
Talk about what it's about. So. Yeah, summer's coming to an end, and kids are back in school.
Here's the thing that shouldn't bug me, but it does.
Something bug Noel? Never.
It shouldn't, because it's stupid. I recognize it's stupid, but it does.
Yeah.
So school, and I think this is because of testing preparation or something I'd heard, but school starts now in mid-August.
Right.
And it ends at the end of May.
And it may sometimes a few days into June. Sometimes.
Right.
Just depends on your district.
So that doesn't in itself matter necessarily. I mean, whatever. The thing is it's not really summer break anymore. You can't call it summer break because it's kind of
because school goes
spring, partial summer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because you start school and it's still summer.
It's still summer.
It's still hot.
And the last day of summer goes all the way through Labor Day, right? Or is it even later than that?
It's September 21st or 2nd, depending on where the sun is landing this time of year.
Yeah. So I vote to rename it from summer break to not summer break.
Can we get this on the ballot? Can we get this measured in? It was no longer should be called.
Are the issues?
Yes, it should be called springish kind of summer.
Springish kind of partial summer break.
Can we stop saying the school starts in the fall?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't.
It starts in the summer.
It starts in the summer.
Yeah.
And next month it'll be the fall, and that'll be great.
Yeah. Well.
So now to ruin your point of school has started, summer's over.
No, summer's not over. You're right. We've got plenty of summer left because it's still hot. It's still hot outside. It's very hot outside.
Not just in my fantastic coffee cup.
And probably perfectly temperature kept coffee inside this Biofriendly Podcast.
Of the highest quality, and everybody who sees it or is near it should want it.
My gosh.
And they get it by doing fun games.
Quizzes. You never know how you can win one. That's the thing.
So many ways to win it, but the only way to win it
is to join the Facebook group.
Yep,
exactly. Well, today, Noel, we discussed. Let's find something. Let's find a story in the news.
Yes.
In the environmental arena that's uplifting and kind of exciting. You know, something to share about.
Yeah.
And I went searching.
Yeah.
And I didn't find anything.
That's a shame.
Well, I eventually found something.
Why didn't you?
I eventually found something, but let me tell you guys about working in this arena.
Break it down for us, fellas.
If you go into Google or Bing, as I always promote, and you
if you're binging like
you do, if you type in environmental, climate, whatever, even if you type in like good environmental, it's usually like there's a good chance we're all gonna die in the environment.
Positive environmental. I'm positive we'll be dead tomorrow. I'm
positive the world will be over. It's just there's just a lot of bad news. There's a lot of worry. There's a lot of intense articles, and I get it because we need people to take things seriously.
Sure,
we need to take things seriously, but at the same time, would it kill you to just put one uplifting story every 3 search pages? That would be great. I was about, you know, in the Google when you're in the I was on like the 18th O.
Oh.
By the time I saw something, I was like, okay, that's probably a nice story.
You went in for a deep dive.
Deep goo.
A deep goo.
I didn't hit the goal, but I was in the goose.
Yeah, it was close. When you get to the G, you know you're in trouble. It's like, oh my God, there's only 3 left. I still haven't found a positive article.
The last G of Google, you're running out of options. No,
I like that game of saying what will you find on Google if you type in something like hopeful, environmental article, and then it's hopefully we aren't dead tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like great stories, climate. It'd be like the great story in the climate this week is that we won't have to worry about the climate because
we'll all be dead.
We'll all be dead by 2032. So anyway, so you listeners who also are anxious to make changes and do things better in the world, I can understand that this whole journey can be tiresome because you feel like, can I just get somebody to tell me that something's going to be all right?
Can someone pat me on the back?
Yeah.
For the stuff, because the thing that I'm so proud about with this podcast,
yes,
and the thing that we keep hearing from people over and over again is that they'll say, I went into the podcast not thinking that I was going to change much.
Right.
Not thinking that I was going to do just, I wanted to laugh. You said that it was a nice thing to get some information, whatever else.
Yeah.
And I left the podcast and I've made all these changes just kind of natural, just over time. I've just kind of sort of changed the way I think.
Yeah.
And that's, like, if people do that, we win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to go crazy about it, but if you do that, we win. And I think that if you're doing that and you're looking for inspiration on the on the Bing, you're not going to find it. You're not going to find it easily. So that's why you should come here.
Yes.
To let us pat you on the back and say you're doing great.
Yeah, because
you're doing great.
I just realized right now, because I was making the Bing joke, I should have said I was in the Bings and I was in the I, that I was deep in the I, and I hadn't hit the N yet. But they don't have the same format. But he's right.
Do you think that's why it fails?
Probably. People were like, look, if I'm gonna Bing, I need to Bing.
I need some kind of notification of how many eyes I'm on.
How far in the Bing I am. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, look, the thing is, there's plenty of places on the internet that if you want to read about the bummers and the downers and what's going to happen and are we in trouble, it's out there. They got it covered. Yeah. Every environmental source is saying that stuff. And I agree. It's time to get serious. It's time to, buckle down and take changes the right way. Seriously.
Yeah. Yes, but the default setting is unfortunately for environmentalists on fright and worry.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's out there. So now that that's covered and that default setting is there,
you got to have a place you can go.
We're the others.
Yeah,
we're the other side of that.
We're the other side, and because you have to. Because I'm sure you're like me. Too much of negative news, I start to shut down. I start to kind of go like, well, I mean, I guess this is it. You know, like I just kind of go, I guess there's nothing I can do.
I generally order a lot of food.
Yeah.
And
I binge eat.
And I just just party for the end of the
Yeah, just party.
I party
in a very sorrowful way.
I have a pizza party say we're all done anyway.
We're all doomed.
Moving on.
Doom Pizza.
I have my
That would be a great
band name.
Good band name, but a good pizza company. Doom
Pizza.
So, like, the idea is you ordered from Doom Pizza when you've just had the worst day.
Yes.
And, like, a goth guy shows up at your door and is like, here's your Doom Pizza.
Oh, yes. He's all emo and he's...
Yeah, he's just like, you know...
He's got Dashboard Confessional playing in the background.
Enjoy this pizza. It's probably the last one you'll ever have, you know?
Yeah, Doom Pizza. You break up with
somebody, you're
with a
sad,
partner that
you're
you were so
crying.
in love with.
Yeah.
Get a Doom Pizza.
Get a Doom Pizza.
You know?
Hey.
Maybe your cat just died.
I think
Get a Doom Pizza.
I think we just figured out a side hustle. I think we could start Doom Pizza.
That's it.
Anyway, so I guess we'll dive in. But you know, we have been diving in because we've been talking about how everything out there is a bummer. So here's a good story.
Yeah, you found one.
I found one. I did find one. Took a minute.
The one.
The article.
Yeah.
Which is on popularmechanics.com.
Love that magazine.
Which I wish when I think about Popular Mechanics, I kind of wish that it was already, it's, you know, scientific based, but I kind of wish in the middle they had photo shoots of mechanics. And they're like, this is Jeff.
Jeff's in overalls with no shirt.
Yes.
And he's holding on to a electric screwdriver.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got power tools like, this is Lucille. Yeah. And it's like, you know, she's got pigtails and she's holding a big wrench. And it's like, these are this month's Popular Mechanics. Like, I feel like there should be centerfolds to the Popular Mechanics.
These are the Popular Mechanics.
These are the most popular mechanics. If you go to Dayton, this is the most popular mechanic.
Yeah.
And every month, and all the mechanics are like, did you hear?
Did you hear? Albert's the popular mechanic.
He's the popular mechanic of the month. Yeah. I made it in. Anyway, but I digress, which is what I always do on here.
It should fold open. They should have, have a centerfold.
100%.
And you should look.
100%.
And they should just be, when someone is like underneath.
Yeah.
You know, Larry is underneath
the
truck
Chevy
that he's working on, and he's just got the wrench, and he's digging in, and
Absolutely.
there's oil on his face. And he'll beat it though. He'll fix it.
And then when you find the garage where you want to fix your car, you show up and you're like, "So have you been doing this long?" And he's like, October '98. And you scan over, and there's this hanging the centerfold of his like Popular Mechanics October '98. You know, I know what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so the article says carbon nanotubes could increase solar efficiency to 80%. That's it. Yeah. So it is, I don't know much about science in general.
I don't know much.
I don't know.
But I wish I could find
that
out
Aaron
about
Neville?
science.
Is that your Aaron
Yeah,
Neville?
it's my Aaron.
I love it.
It's pretty good, eh?
I love your Aaron
Should we
Neville.
spend the rest of the podcast talking like Aaron Neville?
Carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes could increase solar efficiency to 80%, not by enhancing the solar panels themselves, but by capturing the heat around them.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah. There it is. So just to kind of read from the top, because they say it better than I would. Perhaps one of the greatest challenges facing solar technology is wasted heat.
Oh, man. They are so inefficient.
Yeah.
This is such good news.
And I'm glad it's not like wasted heat.
Yeah.
You know, heat that's just wasted.
Wasted Heat is opening for Doom Pizza.
For Doom Pizza. This weekend, we're going to go see Doom Pizza with opening band Wasted Heat. So one crucial measure of solar panels is how efficient they are in converting the sun's rays into electricity, obviously. Yeah. That's what a solar panel is. Most people know that. So it's potentially huge news that a team from Rice University has produced a method they could radically improve solar panels. And what they're saying is a lot of it is the heat that it's escaping.
Yeah.
So like the solar panel is absorbing a certain amount of heat, but if you were to turn an infrared, on anything that gets warm, it glows.
Yes.
Because there's heat coming off of it.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the carbon nanotubes in this article, they're basically saying that they're going to capture that. They're going to capture that heat that is escaping. And then that way the solar panel now is 80% more efficient.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That is terrific because solar technology hasn't had a real big boom
in a while. It's been a while. Yeah, since the panda, the giant panda that they made out of solar panels in China. That was about the biggest news solar panels have had in a long time.
That was the last good thing for solar panels.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's really great because there is so much energy in the sun. I mean, there's just it's it's insane. It's insane. Like there's just it's crazy, and the fact that we struggle to capture it and to efficiently use it is it's pretty frustrating. So it's really great news to hear that there's something being done to improve that technology.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're able to get solar panels to work a little better and actually absorb more energy and make more electricity, now we're talking about instead of having to have crazy involved batteries on cars, it's more like an alternator on a current car. Like if you've got the solar panels going, they'll keep producing energy that can keep being used instantly. But the reason you can't now is because it's barely any energy. Like the only way it works is by storing it for a very long time. You get a lot of energy, you throw it in there, you keep storing, and then you put it in a battery, and then the battery has enough power to last you for your 230-mile drive.
Right, exactly. But we need to get away to where we're pulling way more energy from the sun and keeping it, and it should be almost like in so much energy that it's instant. It's like, we're not having to charge something up. It's happening in real time, and we have the reserve. You know, like all the above.
Exactly. Yeah. So a battery for a battery for a solar powered car, or solar powered car. Instead of it being like you are filling up the battery with energy in order to keep it going, the battery is the same as a battery you have in your regular car, which is its purpose is just to get the car started, or to give you a little extra humph, or to just keep the lights on, or whatever else, right? Yeah.
It says they're working to capture the thermal photons, the heat. Thermal photons, cool word of the day. That's the heat. That's what the panels are releasing. Thermal photons are just photons emitted from a hot body.
I saw Hot Body as the Popular Mechanic this last week.
Yes, Hot Body. This month's Popular Mechanic had a hot body.
Dan Higgins.
Dan Higgins.
Yes.
You
of Fargo, North Dakota.
Our August 2019's Popular Mechanic.
He had a body so hot. You'd think he was a solar panel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they call him in the garage. Yeah? Hey, solar panel.
Solar panel. Get that hot body in here.
Get over here. So if you look at something hot with an infrared camera, it says exactly what we were saying. You see it glow. The camera is capturing these thermally excited photons. Man. This hot body is thermally excited photons.
I did not realize that we were going to be, the Popular Mechanics was going to do a Danielle Steele.
I know, this is a romantic, I feel like this is pretty romantic.
Wow.
When the sun transmits light, heat and light, it also sends an invisible energy known as infrared radiation. Humans have been able to utilize infrared radiation in a variety of ways, from personal saunas to weather satellites. So again, we're back in the sauna now. This entire article is just too saucy for me. I can't even. Look, audience.
It's so difficult to be an environmentalist because either you're dealing with doom and gloom, pizza, or it's just sexy time.
It is, and I feel like this is an episode that I might have to put E for
explicit.
Everyone.
Again, the rating system. We've got to figure out.
Again, we've circled back on the rating system because it is a problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, I could go back to the article.
I know it's a bit. Look.
What?
Plug your ears. There's some saucy stuff coming up here. We're going to be talking
about light,
saunas.
Photons,
we're going to be talking about jacuzzis.
Excited photons.
We're going to be talking about hot bodies.
Popular Mechanics.
I mean, it's going to get crazy.
We're
not normally crazy on this podcast. Mm-hmm. We don't endorse, we try to keep it family friendly. Yeah. And we'll do our best to continue to do so now. But just be prepared that this Popular Mechanic article is
something else.
It is.
Yeah, I had to enter in my age just to read it.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy on the cover's hair of this article was just like flowing, and his muscles were it was amazing.
But he wasn't in a cold climate like me. cold people. So it just basically said when Rice graduated, student Chloe Doran found that about 20% of our industrial energy consumption is waste heat. Wow. Nearly 3 years of electricity just for the state of Texas. They were motivated to figure out a solution. The most efficient way to turn heat into electricity now is to use turbines and steam or some other liquid to drive them. Mm-hmm. They can give you nearly 50% conversion of efficiency, but nothing else gets as close to that. But those systems are not easy to implement. Right. So that's this whole thing about the nanotubes, which I don't even know necessarily what a nanotube is. It just sounds cool. Do you know what a nanotube is?
Yeah. So it's basically they've created a building block that is like molecular in size.
Oh.
So it's a tiny itty bitty carbon, literally like a tube. It's a tiny little
nano.
itty bitty tube.
Yeah.
That you can use as a building block. You can stack these nanotubes on top of each other, and you can make things at a molecular level. And so because you're able to create such tiny building blocks, you can get a lot of density, and you can really, you can hold a lot with very little space taken up, which is pretty amazing.
This has been Wicked Smart with Noel Carroll.
Yeah, pal.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
I actually couldn't have said it at all.
Yeah.
So thanks for taking that one.
No worries, man. No, it's
I'm in here looking at the article saying carbon nanotubes. I'm like, somebody please explain what a nanotube is.
Yeah.
Please explain it.
Yeah, no, they're rad. There's nanotechnology is cool stuff. Some of it scares the pants off of people because like the idea of like nanobots that you can program, little tiny itty bitty fellas.
Nanobots.
That you can program. You put them in your body, and the idea is if you inject them in your body, you can go in with these nanobots and have them do like repair work on the body and get things all, like do detail cellular work to repair things, fix things, and medically. The idea is it could be really great. But of course, then the flip side of that is, can you make a nanobot that can control my brain?
Yeah.
Right?
Will nanobots be ruling the Earth? Well, we all saw Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Those aren't those nanobots I think he makes that turn into like that big
those little balls that he can...
I think that's nanotechnology. I don't know. Look, I learned everything I possibly know from films, Pixar movies, Disney films. That's about where my knowledge comes from.
And I think that's okay.
Is it okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If there's anybody who's got it right, it's Pixar.
Yeah, we're gonna make a film called a Pixar film, animated film called Doom Pizza. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be great.
I'm in on that.
Yeah. So instead of going from heat directly to electricity, we go from heat to light to electricity. It seems like 2 stages would be more efficient than 3. But here, that's not the case. Efficiency is the watchword in solar energy. That's the key. That's what you were saying, which is it's all about efficiency. And that's why, we're all trying to find new ways to get renewable energy.
Yeah.
And the problem is the wind, the solar, and our sources, they just haven't been able to match the same level of being able to create energy and sustain it, right? Yeah. So it's like we constantly need to develop ways that we can have sustainable energy and reduce what we currently rely upon.
Efficiency of space, because you can create quite a lot of energy with a wind farm, but you need a farm, right? That's the problem. The amount of
land.
turbines. Yeah, you just have to throw turbines all over. And you can get some power out of it, but it takes a lot of space. Right?
So somebody needs to invent like a wind turbine that's tiny.
So what we need are a bunch of really tiny windmills.
And you put them in your backyard.
Held by nanotubes.
And you're like, I've got 3,500 wind turbines in my backyard. And they're like, what? And you open the door and there's just this tiny
like a little toy.
Little square. And you're like, that powers my entire house.
This powers Los Angeles.
Yeah, you just have to go back every now and then and go,
yeah.
Blow on it.
Yeah. And it's just so efficient. It's incredibly efficient. Yeah. So like as an example, solar energy right now, one of the problems you have with it is the amount of mirrors, as an example, right? In Las Vegas, you've got just massive amounts of mirrors that are pointing towards a steam turbine, basically. That's creating all this energy. Yeah,
that glows in the middle. If you guys have ever driven past these things outside of Vegas, it's insane. They're shooting the sunlight towards this little block in the middle, and literally, if a bird flies like in the path of that, it
gets incinerated.
It's incinerated.
They've learned not to fly there.
Yeah,
because they get incinerated.
Right.
Which is that joke you're now telling in your comedy store. It's hilarious with that.
The birds are kind of the ones that suffer the most in our search for energy. Yeah. Anyway, go on to your point.
But so not only are you using a ton of real estate to create energy in order to do that with all these mirrors, but also everything above, as we mentioned, dies.
Right.
So you can't fly by it, and everything below it. Right? And now you've got all this, so any kind of, people are saying, well, it's desert life, who cares? Well, I mean, that is an ecosystem, right?
Yeah,
there's lizards, there's life down there that is no longer, it dies. It's all gone.
Yeah.
So you've turned a huge amount of land into basically nothing but an energy production area. Now, that's okay.
Right.
If because probably better than doing the same thing with coal as an example, and just like what they're doing in China, where it's just like you're in a fog of death.
Right.
But it isn't ideal, and that I think is where this excites me. Is we're finding ways to make it more efficient, because if you can make it 80% more efficient, that means that you need, not quite half as many solar panels, but
Right.
almost half
we're
as many
getting
solar
there.
panels to do the same amount of work, right?
Right.
So the more efficient you make it, the less space you take up, and the better it is for everybody involved.
Yeah. So I think that, we're all working on developing these new technologies, and you hope that with the solar, specifically, we get to a place where we can have something on the top of a car that's, the size of the roof or even less.
Right.
And that sucker can pull in enough solar energy to drive, endlessly.
Right.
That's what we need somebody out there to invent that. So if you guys could get on that, that would be amazing. Like if you're listening right now and you haven't figured out how we can do that, could you solve it? I'd appreciate it.
Right. Well, and while 80% improvement is modest compared to that, because that's obviously that would be like a 6,000% improvement in the technology, which that's hard to do. But the thing is an 80% improvement shows that there's effort going in that direction, and it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference. It's almost twice as efficient. So that's really, really great.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
But yeah, and I mean, wouldn't it be great if you could just paint on like solar paint on a car? And
Oh my
just
gosh.
the paint would
Solar paint.
yeah, would just drive the car, right? Or your house, like all the paint on your house when you do it.
That would be awesome.
Your house is powered by the paint on your house, right? That would be radical, and that's where eventually I used the word radical. I used the word radical because I meant it.
I'm glad you did.
But because that's that kind of stuff going on, it just changes the whole ballgame.
It does. I think I'd
But
want
we're not there yet. But this is but that's good is this is a step, right?
Yeah.
And you don't immediately get to that future technology. You work one step after the next, and eventually over time we figure it out.
Yeah. When we get to that level of solar energy, I want to have a solar suit. Like a jacket that I put on, and it's just solar energy. And it'll power, I don't know what, but it's just, I'm powering myself maybe. Maybe it's powering an AC unit on the inside of my jacket.
To cool all of the heat that your suit is producing because it's a solar suit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I'd be burned, probably. Very badly.
No, you wouldn't because you have an air conditioning system.
I have an air conditioning system on the inside. But that's how concerned I am about being hot.
This is so great. So basically,
I'm adding a layer.
You're creating a jacket whose purpose is to cool off the jacket.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's America.
That to me is America.
That's America. Okay, that's green tech and that's innovation level that I don't think people are thinking of enough, which is like if you make a jacket that it's solar powered and then it makes a cooling system on inside the jacket. Now some might say just don't wear the jacket. But that is preposterous. You wear the jacket and you let the AC unit keep you really, really cool. And then when people come over and slap you on the shoulder, they go, ah!
It burns.
It burns so bad. You'd be like, well not inside the jacket.
You shouldn't touch me. Yeah, and you can't take it off because if you try to touch the jacket to take it off, you'll kill yourself.
Yeah, no, look, you could solar power a lot of things. Well, like without not just clothes. Let's do, you could solar power a scooter.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like, those little mini ones that are around town? What if those were all, like, you didn't have to charge them or anything? They were just solar powered. That'd be pretty sweet. Solar powered.
You could maybe solar power a calculator.
Oh, there you go.
Wouldn't that be high tech?
Yeah. Wait, don't those already have solar power? Those already have it, right?
Yeah. I was making a little joke.
That was your little joke. I was going to say,
I just made a little joke.
The calculators were ahead of the solar game.
Oh, yeah.
Calculators are literally the old school, like the wise old souls of solar power. Because like I remember when I was a kid and having the calculator and then you cover the strip and then all the numbers disappear and you're like,
yeah.
Why was that so fascinating?
It was magic.
Yeah, but the calculator I feel like the calculators in the early 1980s were like, you guys, this solar thing's really going to take off.
Yeah. I mean, they knew. The calculators knew.
They knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's the thing, right? So people putting an effort towards making any of these technologies more efficient is really great.
Could you have a solar powered coffee tumbler?
Now that makes sense,
right?
Solar powered coffee tumbler because you want that sucker to be hot,
right? So you have a little panel
or cold
or cold, exactly. But if you had a little solar powered thing, or like even on the top or something like that, and then it could keep the drink warm or keep the drink cold. There you go.
There it is.
I will sell those with my solar powered jackets. Jacob's AC jackets. It's a bad idea. I just think to myself how much I wish I could individually cool my body out in the world.
Make a company called Jacob's Superfluous Technology. Right?
Where it's stuff that nobody needs.
Yes.
It's the Sky Mall, but on the ground.
Yeah. Ground Mall.
Ground Mall. Yeah. Ground Mall coming to your mailbox. Yeah. It's those products because look, I'm not digging on Sky Mall, but you don't need anything in there. But when you're looking at it,
when you're stuck on a plane.
When you're stuck on a plane, you're like, oh, I totally need a bookcase chair set, whatever, or I need stairs for my dog for my bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Ground Mall would be the same thing. It would be air conditioned jacket. Something like that. Yeah. That's going to be my flagship. Yeah. That's going to be my first thing.
Air conditioned jacket.
Air conditioned jacket. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's solar technology. I think that we will see it in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good. I guess the moral of this, hopefully this today's podcast is that we're not alone out there, folks. There's people working on things.
Yeah.
And they're getting there on a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be another planet that's already got it figured out, and we're just hoping they show up
and invade
and tell us what's going on.
Oh, I mean, tell us what's going. Yeah.
Yeah. Just show up, get down here, and let us know how we can clean up this problem and publish some positive, uplifting articles on the internet about how we're going to save the world. Seriously, there needs to be something out there that's just uplifting, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. Well, because it's not all bad. It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not like this movement isn't gaining incredible momentum. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the whole world cares so much.
Yes.
About this topic. At some point we're going to do, and you mentioned that one of the topics you considered covering today was Greta Thunberg.
Yes, Greta Thunberg. Right? We need to do a whole episode on that.
Right,
so amazing kid.
So as an example of the tomorrow, the future generations sort of really standing up and saying, let's do something about it now. Let's get something going, and that's where it's going. Yeah. The movement has momentum. It's not the end of the world because we care enough that we're going to do something about it.
Yeah.
So keep it up, team. Way to go on doing good things, on cutting back on your plastic and on crushing it, because we're getting what you're talking about. We're hearing the reports back and the cool things you're doing, and we're excited.
Yeah. Absolutely. And, as a reminder, these sweet coffee tumblers could be yours if you come and join us on the Facebook group. And that's a great place, too. And the Facebook group is a great place for you to share what you're doing in your personal journey. We have this thing where we want you and we encourage you to share something that you do in your everyday life. Mm-hmm. And that's as simple as bringing a coffee tumbler to a coffee bean and not using the cups. And we call it painless green. Yeah. And that's basically, your chance to kind of share with everybody. This is a little tiny thing that I do on a daily basis that is making the world a better place.
And then everybody likes it.
Yeah. And everybody likes
all
it.
All the people in the group like it. And be like, this thing we like. And then you feel good because people are liking what you're doing. And even if somebody just posted that they went to their coffee place and did it, you can still post yours next.
Absolutely.
And nobody's going to be mad about it. Because the point is,
it's painless green.
It's painless green.
Yeah. And then if you join us there too, you can talk about what you'd like us to, subjects that you're interested in knowing more about. You have influence on the podcast right there by just saying, this is something I like or am passionate about. And we will definitely put it in the list. And we'll get to it at least in 3 or 4 years. But we will definitely do a show at some point about what you like.
It's a minor backlog.
There's a lot of subjects that we need to cover. So anyway.
He's joking. Your topic is our most important topic.
It is. But we've been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Sound years ahead of the competition.
Saving the world eventually.
Tantamount.
So glorious. So handsome. I think we did those the best.
I don't think really. No, you are not done yet.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I blew it.
I was about to say tangential, but worth it.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we
were on a roll,
so smooth.
And then the given shows up and just farts all over it.
That's a good one. Yeah. Farting all over the environment since 2019.
I forgot about tangential, but worth it. Next week, I will get it right. I promise you.
You know what?
I'm going to nail it.
If we never do, that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, we never introduced ourselves.
I'm Noel Carroll.
And I'm Jacob Givens, and this has been the Biofriendly Podcast.
Staring at the camera.
The Biofriendly
listening are like,
podcast. It's the Biofriendly
I
podcast.
think it's over.